Hey, what's up guys? My name is Axidroid and welcome to a long-awaited episode of Building Helms Deep. I know it's been a while and I'll catch you guys up on that. We do have some progress on the mock since you've last seen it. I'm sure there's still some old viewers who still sticked around. We're waiting for this episode to come out. It's the 10th episode now, so I'm really excited to finally return to the mock. So a lot of guys have probably been wondering, where has this guy been? What has he been doing this whole time? And I have been building some mocks actually, but some smaller ones. My favorite one being this beautiful scorpion tank from Halo. Definitely one of my favorite mocks I've made so far. But a little hiatus of my Helms Deep. I want to create a vehicle, and I think I really succeeded with this one. So let me know if you want to see a video on this mock as well. So a little more on my absence, since the last episode, which was in February last year, which is more than a year ago now. But I have actually bought an apartment recently, since last year. So I have been, reconstructing that, renovating that. So that has taken some of my time. But mostly it's the motivation you need to have for these kind of mocks. Like, I know a lot of people watching right now probably have built some larger mocks, like some of my friends, like True Squadron, Coconut Bricks, and all them. They know what it takes to build a mock that big. First of all, it takes a lot of money, but we all know that this is an expensive hobby. But the time invested in these kind of mocks it takes a lot of time and a lot of motivation. But I did regain that motivation. I've been enjoying building it again, and I can't wait to finish it and show you guys, of course. I do want to thank all of the the viewers that have been patiently waiting and still showing support. And sometimes I still get a comment, so where is Helms Deep, where is it at? And I do appreciate that. It definitely gave me a little bit of a push to continue this mock. It takes a lot of time, but I'm glad you guys are here and watching the video. So without wasting any more time, let's get to the first clips and progress of the mock. So for almost a year, Helms Deep actually looked like this. It was just all verticals on my table, collecting dust. And this is where we essentially left off. I did fill in some areas, some groundwork, nothing too crazy, but a lot of it is still unfinished. So today I want to work on this little tower area. You see, it's like a little overlook tower right next to the keep. As you can see, all of these walls are modular, which is the plan from the start, so I can just put it on my table, work on it like you can see right now. The plan for the day is obviously to expand the tower upwards and do some of the groundwork that has to be there as well, because it is leading upwards. As you guys can see, I've added some a lot of dark brown slopes to add to the wet mud that would build up there. We also have some dark blue gray, all of the water and moisture that's soaked into the stone. And what I'm doing with these techniques is like, I'm not really thinking about it. I'm just grabbing the pieces, testing if it would look good there or not. I also added some cracks, which I really love, and I'm adding a lot more of these arrows in the wall, which I will definitely implement more in the existing walls. You can see from the back, I've used these panels for the 45-degree angles, which have to be connected, which gives this very smooth look to it. It's basically a snot technique, but sideways. And then we have some of the Lothlorien elves on there as well. It will look so cool, in the final battle, to just have these looking over, shooting arrows downwards. Adding all of this weathering is just so fun. As you can see as well, like I'm using a lot of old gray, which gives a very nice weathering effect. Here you can see like where I'm gonna plan all of the groundwork that has to be there, because it does lead upwards, and there's some rock work as well I have to do for this the big curved wall. Here I'm actually doing some of the filling in, a lot of just filler brick. You want to use a lot more bigger bricks, because it has to be kind of sturdy if I ever plan to really put this in a convention, if that's even possible. We'll see about that. I mean, there's a chance, but the chance is pretty low since it's just so big. While this time lapse is going, I do want to take the time to say that if you guys got any questions for me or about the mock, just put them down in the comments, and I'll answer them in the next episode of Building Helms Deep. As you guys can see, I love adding some olive green into the rock work as well, or the groundwork. you know, in these little corners of a stone wall there would definitely be some greenery working up there. And then added some mushrooms as well. And the thing is, I just love, you know, color blocking, using the palette that I've been using, you know, adding some dark tan, olive green, dark brown, and reddish brown. Those are like the main colors, and obviously gray for the wall. And that is something very important to me, is, you know, the color use. That, like, for example, if I use some regular green grass stems, it will look really out of place. So it's really important, if you keep to that color palette and don't really go off it, it might look odd. But don't be afraid to add a little bit of color. Like, let's say if I added some medium nougat in here, it would also look pretty good. But for the scene, I don't think there's a lot of you know, medium nougat or any orange colors. I'm definitely gonna try adding a lot more of these time lapses in. I mean, for the groundwork it's pretty easy, because I am just in the zone building up this groundwork, and I can just time lapse it. Here you can see what it looks like integrated into the mock, and it looks just so cool. I love, you know, all the buildup of mud on the bottom there, and obviously the little gray white to the side is just a stand in. We'll have to change that later. So definitely let me know down in the comments if you like this tower. Should I shorten it a little bit? Might be a little bit too tall, but I can always change that eventually, of course. Hey guys, so here we are in front of the mock with the new tower in, and I also went ahead and put all the lights on. You know, what's the end game of this mock? Is having all of the lights on, having a whole Rohirrim, you know, charge coming over here, having, you know, more than 100 Urukai. I have so many of those, so can't wait to fill in this whole area. We'll have, you know, the wall up here, the very, you know, the big keep, and then a tower which will be like more than a meter long, or like more than 3 feet. And then I went ahead and just put a cheap LED strip into the, you know, behind the explosion, so you can get a real idea of, you know, how cool this blast is gonna be. So here we have the tower, and I do think it might be a little too long, but I think I might like that. Might keep it like this, because I feel like, you know, having a little, you know, higher tower, which I think is supposed to be like maybe 1 brick lower, but I might just keep it as this. And, you know, I have all of these, you know, flickering lights on, which you've seen in previous episodes, but there might be some new people here, so they might have not have seen it. But we'll have, you know, lights all over. We have all of the, you know, the elves with some fire over here as well. You know, having the lights will take this to another level. So my goal for the next episode is to, you know, start creating this wall, which will go upwards, have rock work all over here as well, which will then start a big the wall, you know, the very big round wall over there. Before we end this video, I do want to show you guys, you know, the progress of this episode, which is this tower. Sorry if the light is kind of low. I lowered it for the lights, of course, but we got a lot of detail. And as I said before, we have a lot of these arrows, which I really like, which I'll have to implement a lot more in here as well, since, you know, these orcs are just shooting arrows as much as they can. And as much I'd like to, you know, fill this in with figures already, I think it'll be more special if I do it at the end, just have, you know, all the figures at the end. That's pretty much it for this week's episode. So thank you guys so much for watching this 10th episode of Building Helms Deep. I'm really happy to be back and, you know, being back on the grind of building this giant mock behind me. So once again, as I said earlier in the video, if you guys got any questions for me, just put them down below in the comments and I'll try to answer them in the next episode. Thank you guys so much for your support and your patience, of course, you know, after a year of no uploading at all. So if you guys like this video, I would appreciate you guys just like the video and left a comment down below. It helps the algorithm and all that. And of course, subscribe so we can hit that 10K subscriber goal. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video.